Andres Segovia Show.
Hello everyone and welcome to the program. I am Andres Segovia, your host, and this is the Andres Segovia Show. In this episode, I have for you rental housing industry updates courtesy of the Apartment Owners Association. And before I get into any of that, I want to let you know that I was part of the Apartment Owner Association's webinar last week. They hosted a webinar to give us updates, a lot of ground to cover, and they're making the webinar available for a limited time, which I'll be leaving a link to in the video description or the show notes accompanying this episode at www.theandresegovia.com. So you head on over there so you can find a link to see, while you still can, all the updates that you can from legal professionals out on the front lines battling your property rights to the state. Now, let's move on to industry-specific updates regarding rental housing here in California. So an example of California, what's been going on, the governor signed an executive order that waives penalties for property taxes paid after April 10th for taxpayers who experienced or demonstrate they've experienced financial hardship due to COVID-19 pandemic through May 6, 2021. This will apply to residential properties and small businesses. Additionally, the executive order will extend the deadline for certain businesses to file business personal property statements all the way to May 31, 2020 to avoid penalties. Now, in regards to LA City, on May 6th, Los Angeles amended the eviction moratorium. So here are some of the highlights that you're able to pull from this, and I'll be leaving links to the ordinances too at the show notes so you can pull them up yourself. But these are some of the key points from the ordinance. Tenants will have 12 months after the emergency period is over to pay back unpaid rent due to coronavirus-related circumstances. There is an eviction freeze. No-fault evictions or evictions for unauthorized persons, pets, or even nuisance related to COVID-19 are banned during the emergency period. Late fees and or interest may not be charged or unpaid rent during the emergency period. Landlords must provide the housing COVID-19 renter protections fact sheet to all rental units in the city of Los Angeles by May 27th. Landlords may not intimidate, coerce, or influence their tenants to pay their rent out of any governmental relief program monies they receive. Before I get to the LA County stuff, I want to let you know that for those of you that actually follow me, including my Facebook, would know I actually covered in detail this and LA County on my first Facebook presentation exclusively on my Facebook page. So on my website, you'll find a link to the Facebook page, which is The Andres Segovia. You can go there so you can pull up the show and you can see my entire presentation and resources for you to pull up almost everything that's being talked about here, including the ordinance. So it's important for you to know about this, and if you like and subscribe across everything that I do, you will be in the know. You would have known by now. I'm just retreading some of the territory there. In the next episode coming up, I'm going to be doing the audio version of that Facebook presentation, so you can wait for that or just go to my Facebook page. But I just don't want you to miss out on this information because the deadline is coming up pretty soon. Now, LA County. On Tuesday, May 12th, the Board of Supervisors approved an extension of the temporary eviction moratorium. The temporary moratorium is effective from March 4th, 2020 through June 30th, 2020. This may be extended by a board of supervisors on a month-to-month basis. Of course they would. Pasadena. Okay, so 2 weeks from when this is going up, the Pasadena City Council expanded coronavirus eviction moratoriums. With a unanimous vote, they approved the following updates. Landlords may not impose any new pass-throughs or charge interest or late fees for unpaid rent during the moratorium period. The definition of tenant under the eviction moratorium shall include persons or businesses that lease inside storage space in self-storage facilities. Payment plans that allow landlords to accept partial payments for tenants during the moratorium are encouraged. Landlords may not harass or intimidate tenants who choose to exercise their protections under the eviction moratorium. And the last update I have for you here is for West Hollywood. West Hollywood City Council unanimously extended its emergency moratorium on evictions from May 31st to July 31st during its meeting a couple of Mondays ago. The extension means residential and commercial tenants who face financial hardships due to the coronavirus pandemic shutdown can delay rent payments for the months of June and July without facing evictions. So those are your updates. I'm not going to chime in on any of this, but I just wanted to get these updates out to you so you are aware of these things. And for you to stay in the know, I do recommend that you support some of the associations that are out there fighting for your rights, fighting just to stay out there to be a voice for you, because sometimes it falls on deaf ears for our assembly and our legislator. And I've done what I can to support them, and I recommend that you do what you can to support them too, because there are people that are taking advantage of the services, but do not want to contribute to their services, which is a sad thing, but it's an unfortunate reality of what happens even nowadays, especially if people are hemorrhaging money. I understand that too. But if you can, by all means, support them. Now, I should be making an announcement here that on May 21st, the Apartments Owners Association will be hosting a 2-part webinar that will be free to all housing providers. So your housing providers, you can participate in the 2-part online event that starts with the legal pandemia question and answer session with Michael Brennan, Esquire, followed by Discover Advantages of Estate Planning During a Crisis, presented by attorney Ken Zikin. I hope I pronounced that right. You can learn more about this at aoausa.com. That's aoausa.com. I'll be leaving links to this, obviously, in the show notes accompanying this episode at www.theandresegovia.com. And that does it for this episode of The Andre Segovia Show. Thank you so much for making me part of your daily routine. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. But remember to like, share, and subscribe. I have exclusive content across everything: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and of course, the main show here. And exclusively off the record on my website. So yes, I did it on purpose, so you have varied amount of content so you can digest in very different means and mediums, just because I thought it'd be more interesting that way. But Facebook is the hub of everything, so you can pull up almost everything there, except off the record. That's only on my website. And that's it. All right, guys. Thank you. I'll see you on the next one.